What's going on, guys? Welcome back. I've been doing it for God recently. It's been another week for you guys. For us, it's the same day as last week's episode. As you could tell, we're dressed the same way. Sign change colors, though.
Yeah.
How cool is that? Like we talked about a little bit in the last one, I'm going off to camp, so we got a double record for this. But Oscar has a song that I don't know, it's in Spanish, so I don't know the lyrics.
Yeah.
But I saw some translation that he just showed me, and it's a song about a guy lamenting, kind of crying out to God and kind of expressing emotion. And right now our church is doing a series on Psalms and emotion and that kind of stuff. So he thought it'd be fitting to kind of break that down a little bit, see what my opinion is, share his opinion on this. It's not a Christian song, but it's a guy lamenting about his experience and his belief of God. So we'll take a look at that. And
Yeah. For a long time, I think it all takes back to when I started being a Christian and taking God seriously. I had trouble listening to this song.
Yeah.
I don't know if I thought it was bad to. Is it okay to say curse at God?
Okay.
Curse at God?
So you thought it was bad to curse at God?
Yeah.
I would say it is.
Yeah, but I don't mean like cursing, like telling him like bad words,
Like F
curse
off.
word, like
You don't
F
mean like
off.
that?
Yeah, no, like going ranting against God.
Like, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
Why are you doing that? Why are you doing
Yeah. I didn't know it was apparently okay to do that, and it wasn't until a few weeks ago we mentioned Pastor Mike a lot.
Yeah, I'll talk about what he preached on.
Yeah,
Kind of where
Pastor
this
Mike
started.
was preaching about how we tend to shove all of our pain, sadness, and even misery in, and not show the real us, and that we're not true to ourselves and true to God at the same time. And he was quoting King David in Psalm chapter 22, verse 1, that says, my God, why have you forsaken me?" I have the verse here. I should probably be looking at it. My God, why have you forsaken me? Why are you so far from saving me, so far from my cries of anguish? And he started saying that it is okay to pour out to God and even rant against God.
Yeah.
As long as you're doing it with the willingness to grow in his spirit and grow closer and near to him.
Yeah.
So after that, I was driving home and that song came up and I started listening to it in a different way. Because it's not a guy directly cursing at God. It's a guy, like you said, lamenting his experience with God. And well, here are the lyrics. I don't know if you want to pull them up. So it starts like this, and it says, "You stood me up again. We agreed to meet at the temple. You told me everything will be fine, but the setbacks never end. You lied to me more than 10 times. Your promises were never actions. My patience and my faith are gone, and your doctrine is to my detriment. You saw my dreams shatter on the ground. I'm still waiting for comfort." This line. So this song came out almost 6 years ago. And that's when I reached my lowest in my non-existent relationship with God. And I was pretty much blaming him for everything that happened in my life and for all that. I was not a Catholic, but I was under a Catholic doctrine back then. And I was blaming him for pretty much everything that had to do with Catholic Church, with all the shady stuff that happens in not all the churches. I'm not generalizing, but some churches. And I used to blame God for everything. and even for my own failures and my own decisions and my own experiences. And it made a lot of sense to me because I felt so I could relate to the song. And that part of "You Stood Me Up Again," it's I think of these moments where I begged him to just prove me you're real, which is so stupid to ask God, in my opinion. Just a little egotistical for me. Just
I agree.
To challenge God to prove to me,
Like, if there is
that
a God,
He's real.
Like, that's I always take with that is like, if there is a God and there is a God that's
Yeah.
real, what would make you think like that he has to answer to somebody below him?
Yeah.
Like, that's always my response to people who don't believe in God, who are like, well, I asked him to show me he's real.
Yeah.
Well, let's just say he is real.
Yeah.
Why would he have to? Well, I mean, he should want to.
Yeah.
Should he? Why are you special?
Yeah.
He hasn't revealed himself like that to everybody else. Why would he do that for you?
Yeah. Yeah. So I used to ask God, like, prove me you're real. Just show me a sign. Like,
People like easy.
Yeah. Just a sign that you're real, that you exist. Give me a reason to believe in you. Of course, I didn't receive anything. So you saw my dreams shattered on the ground. I'm still waiting for comfort. I'm still waiting for you, God, to comfort me and to prove me you're real. And then it says, you say your patience and faith ran out too.
This is the part that I like.
Okay. You want to read it?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Say your patience and faith ran out too, but you tell me through a messenger, these humans have it all backwards. This is the part where I feel like you have this artist talking about their turmoil, their struggle with believing in God and wrestling with God.
Yeah.
But even down like to their own admission, I feel like there's hurt with people here. I feel like this is people who have given them an image of God, who told them how God's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And now God's not behaving in that way. And so it's like you have these people who's telling him pretty much like, yeah, God's done with you.
Yeah.
You've done this many times. You're not like, he's no longer patient with you. He has no more faith in you. That stuff's ran out. That's the messenger, right?
Yeah.
But these humans all have it all backwards. They do. So like, I feel like he recognizes that person who told him that's just like bullshit.
Yeah.
For lack of a better term. Like so
yeah.
I like that part.
Yeah.
I also like the part above that though, going back up to where it says your doctrine is my detriment.
Yeah.
Again, I think that's hurt of people, hurt of the church.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of times people get stuck on that.
Yeah.
I have a friend who like makes decisions not based off his relationship with God and with the Spirit, but off doctrine.
Yeah.
Love him to death, but
Yeah.
want to fight him sometimes because of that. But, and like I was kind of just telling you a little bit ago, I feel like with stuff like that, the song really points to a hurt with people representing God.
Representing God.
Which reminds me of the song Take Me to Church.
Yeah.
Which I know a lot of people like get upset about because like, I don't know, I've heard some people say it's about like coming out or whatever, the guy being gay but either way, let's say, I don't really know what it's about. I think if it is about the guy being gay, it's about him coming out at church and being utterly outcasted and ridiculed for it.
Yeah.
Which I 100% believe happened.
Yeah.
Zero doubt in my mind something like that happened and it's happening today. And so I see real struggle and real church hurt and hurt with people, which pushes away. I think I've said it before, like when you represent God and you do something that hurts somebody, they now think God has hurt them.
Yeah.
And so it's like, be careful when you're wearing your John 3:16 shirt or your Seek Heaven hat.
Yeah.
And you're saying stuff, you're dropping F-bombs left and right. You're saying stuff that's actively hurting people. Be careful because they think that that's what God is.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what's playing out here, but keep going.
Yeah.
On the don't expect.
These humans have it all backwards. Don't expect me to respect them. I'm tired of you being my judge. Of my prayers returning with nothing. Or, well, empty. That's the right translation. Of my prayers returning empty.
Mhm.
I was trained since childhood, but I think the truth is down below.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a big struggle with a lot of people is like, you have to make your faith your own.
Yeah.
And ultimately it's up to you. And I think the struggle is when you're raised in the faith and now you start like, I mean, what? You don't have real struggles for the first
20 years of your life?
most people.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me
Most
wrong.
people.
I know those people, like, we're very blessed to be able to say something like that. But I know that there's people out there that struggle. But like, on average, like real struggle, hopefully is not happening until you're an adult.
Yeah.
And so you grow up with this childhood faith and expectations of life and reality. And then the second it gets shaken a little bit, you want to run to that faith that you had and say, God, where are you at?
Yeah.
Which is why I love working in youth ministry, because when you do have those cases where kids are experiencing stuff they shouldn't be experiencing, you're able to walk them through that.
I tie everything up, this brief verses that we've read, to, and this is very common in Catholic Church, well, Catholics in Mexico, and at least my family side. We are raised with the belief that God is mad at us. And they never briefly mentioned the love of God. And they believe in a wrathful, rageful,
Which is crazy
God.
because they like, I say they, but like a big thing with the Catholic Church is the rosary and Jesus on the cross.
Yeah.
And imagining and like picturing Jesus' death, which is the ultimate sign of love.
Yeah.
So why is that not being preached? That's interesting.
Yeah.
Of course, no generalization. We're speaking on Oscar's experience. Don't clip that, chat.
No, clip.
All right.
Don't clip that.
This next line, where are you, shepherd? Where were you all that time? I got another song I'm going to compare this to.
Okay.
It's called The Prayer by King's Kaleidoscope. Very popular band.
The prayer?
A Prayer.
A prayer. Okay.
By King's Kaleidoscope.
Okay.
Very popular band. I'm surprised you haven't heard of them.
No.
Very popular Christian band. This is their like least listened to song. You want to know why?
Why?
It drops the F-bomb a couple times. But it's such a beautiful song, and it really is like it's like the Christian version of this song. I kid you not.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna kind of go back this. So that I'm gonna read from a prayer now. Okay. This is switching songs.
Yeah.
Just for a second. But I'm looking at that where are you line from that song.
Yeah.
This one. Let me see. So it starts by saying, "Will I fall or will I misstep? Will I waste inside the silence? Wicked sinner thrown to the lions." Of course, talking about himself.
Yeah.
With no hope on the horizon. So like same part, like same despair.
Yeah.
That guy's going through. And then it repeats the chorus. And then right after that says, "Jesus, where are you?" So that one says, "Shepherd, where are you?"
Shepherd, yeah.
He goes, "Am I still beside you?" Kind of like,
were you all the time? Or were you all the time?
and then it repeats that. And then it keeps going and going and going. And it says, "I'm wasting time in this silence, and my fear is fucking violent." You might have to blur that out, but that's what the song says.
Yeah.
My fear is fucking violent. I'm going to say it. Like, it's real emotion and it's true.
Yeah.
So
You're reading a song. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's true. People feel this way, and it's a real emotion to feel. So
Yeah.
I'm not cursing at anybody. I'm reading the lyrics.
Yeah.
But the way they sing this is like, it's similar to how David lamented.
Yeah.
And he goes, "I'm a child thrown to lions. Jesus, where are you? Am I still beside you?" And it's very similar to that up until this point. So we're going to finish this song, and I want to come back to this.
Yeah.
But there's a Christian song that's just like this, which is why I wanted to talk about it when you first mentioned it. So continue reading this one.
Okay, and then the chorus says, "Oh, our Father, O Lord, Father of human error, send me another temptation, I'll take the bait. Oh, our Father, O Lord, we were both rejected. I want to discover love playing with fire."
What do you think about this line with temptation?
God doesn't send temptations. And again, this is very Catholic doctrine. We are taught that God puts temptations for us to fall into, and that we have
Really?
the will and power.
Like you were taught that? Like,
yeah.
that's crazy.
Like God is going to tempt you, and it's up to you if you want to follow that temptation. And if you follow that temptation, you're going to fall off. You're turning your way from God pretty much, because you're falling into his temptation. And why would you fall into his temptation in the first place? Like, you shouldn't. So God doesn't give temptations. It's the enemy tempting us. And we just said in our previous episode that we have the will and power to stop the enemy through God's power. We have the ability through God to limit the enemy's power. We were both rejected. That's again leaning on people.
Yeah.
People,
which I think is a good line. I like that line.
Yeah. I'll discover love playing with fire. I think he's making comparing this suffering with hell. That's what I'm getting off of it.
That's not what I was getting.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Like, he wants to experience love in hell and not in heaven, not with God.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I'm kind of thinking about along the same lines, but I'm thinking of more of like playing with fire, the metaphorical way, meaning sin.
Yeah.
So I'll discover like love and happiness by just pursuing my own desires, which you see a few lines down. He says, or actually, we'll just read the next part. So he goes, "Oh, stop pulling our leg. Oh, I'll put my own interests first." That's kind of where I connected those. Was like, I'll discover love playing with fire, with meaning like I'm gonna put my own interests first, which might be sinful, but I'm gonna find happiness that way.
Yeah.
Which is, of course, like it's this false image of happiness. It's like it's not real happiness.
Yeah.
Sin does not. It's so hard because sometimes sin feels like happiness.
Yeah.
It really does. Like there's no way.
I think
around
that's
it.
a great definition of sin. It feels like happiness.
Yeah, sometimes it does, and it's just like, which sucks because people will go for it.
Yeah.
People like the easy way out, and they're just like, well, I'm happy with this. Yeah. If you're like, if God don't want it, whatever, like I'm content with it. Which it sucks, but it's honestly, as an adult and growing into your faith and growing up and kind of wrestling with the ideas in the world, it's a decision you have to make. It's either like pursue sin, find what you think is love and happiness in that, or pursue this other option that you've heard that is telling you love is something else. Love is this, love is Jesus. Yeah. And it's ultimately a yes or no, and it sounds simple, and it is simple, but it's hard.
Yeah,
it's simple, but it's hard to do.
Yeah. It is hard.
Like it's a yes or no, but it's hard to follow up on.
Yeah.
But right after that, it goes back to the where are you? Where are you, fisherman? With shepherd and fisherman, it's very clear he's referring to Jesus.
To Jesus.
Like there's definitely like it's not just like insert generic religion.
Yeah.
Definitely some sort of reference to Jesus here.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Where the hell do you spend your time?" And then repeats the chorus.
Repeats the chorus. Yeah.
Let me tell you how that other song ends. So that song ends right after it goes through all that stuff. Jesus, where are you?
Yeah.
There's a big instrumental. Takes a pause. So like that's kind of like where that song ends.
Yeah.
Where the hell are you?
Yeah.
This one stops there, and it sounds like the song's ending.
Yeah.
Like it really sounds like the song's ending. Jesus, where are you? Sounds like it's ending, and then out of nowhere they kind of just scream.
Yeah.
Like, and it's supposed to be like now God is stepping in. Like this is God's voice screaming.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And it's like now God's speaking into the situation.
Yeah.
I'm right beside you. I feel what you feel, and I'm here to hold you. When death is too real, you know I died too. I was terrified. I gave myself for you. I was crucified because I love you. I love you, child. I love you. I love you all. So it's like this powerful voice. Like they scream it. Like it's not like screamo music, but like at the beginning, it's like, you think the song's gonna end, and out of nowhere, just like this loud voice just comes through, and it's like it's God. Like they're speaking as God in this situation. And that's how like I would respond to that artist is like, yeah, life sucks. Like like we do it to ourselves.
Yeah.
The unfortunate consequence of sin is life sucks. It's just how it is.
Yeah.
But just because life sucks doesn't mean that God's not there to be with you. I like that line. I died too.
Yeah.
I was terrified. Imagine Jesus' emotions. Being beaten and mocked and killed.
Yes.
Like, imagine that.
Just imagine him acknowledging that he is God. And then when he's on the cross, just feeling that despair from God.
The separation.
And asking him,
going back.
Why have you forsaken me?
Yeah. It's just, it's okay to feel those emotions.
He really had to separate from God.
Yeah.
To understand human misery.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. And it's misery because of sin. Like, we have this idea of, well, why did God let sin into the world? Why does it? And honestly, when it comes down to it, this might be like a cop-out answer, but my thing is like, why does it matter?
Yeah.
I could sit and go back and forth all day and argue with somebody as to God didn't let sin into the world. Like, we can go back and forth all day on the origins of sin.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, why does it matter? Sin is here. It exists.
Yes.
You acknowledge it because we're having a conversation about it. What I see is a problem of accountability. What I see is, oh, it can't be my fault. It's got to be God's. And maybe that's a lack of empathy from me. Maybe it's like arrogant to say that. But I would hope that somebody would say that to me if I'm ever in that position.
Yeah. And another thing I can sense from all of this, from these songs, is that they're putting their faith or relying their faith in people and not God directly.
Yeah.
They're basing their faith. They want to have a faith based off of a group of people and what they say about God and how they act according to God.
There's a difference between who you want God to be and who God is.
Yeah.
And some people just don't like that. Part of maturing and growing up and honestly having faith is recognizing that.
Yeah.
God is not always who I want him to be. I want a God who gives me $1 million. Like, no. You know what I got was a God who forgave me of my sin so that I could have life beyond this world. But life on this world sucks still. That's just the consequence of sin.
Yeah.
Life on this world sucks because of the stuff that I do. Why does he allow it? Does he allow it? I don't know. Like, it's just like, it comes, there's always going to be a back and forth on it.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, to me, it's just like I said, I'm not trying to cop out. It's not a cop-out answer from me. It's really just how I feel.
Yeah.
And I do this a lot of the times with the arguments of like the origin of things.
Yeah.
Like in a lot of my Christian classes, we talk about the origin of the earth.
Yeah.
Like there's different theories all supported by biblical evidence of how the earth was created. There's different theories of all supported by biblical evidence how Jesus will return. There's different theories of like, my answer is doesn't matter.
Yeah. There's a lot of comparison with the Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, it's like
God
if there's
saying let there be light.
Like if you want to be a Christian, you believe in Jesus and you believe that like there's Christians who believe in evolution. Like there's Christian evolutionism. Sure, bro. Like I don't know how to like if you believe in Jesus and you believe in like you believe that Jesus is God, he's the Son of God, he walked on this earth, born of a virgin, he was crucified and rose from the dead 3 days later so that you could live.
Sorry. We're gonna end up the episode without image. Sorry.
That's all right.
Keep going.
We're almost done anyway.
Yeah.
Like if you believe that, I don't care about the origin. Yeah. Let's talk about life now and getting through our struggles now and dealing with the consequences of sin, not why sin is here, not why we struggle. And I would never say that. Of course, I never say that to somebody like learning.
Yeah.
I would never say that somebody asking questions or like a student coming like trying to figure out and wrestling with their faith. It's a very mature answer for somebody who's like deep in their walk that I would say that to. I would never say it to somebody doing their baby steps with God.
Yeah.
Because that's just like, it is a cop out, kind of slap in the face kind of thing. But it's kind of where I'm at, honestly.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, life sucks,
Yeah.
but God's dealing with it with you.
Yeah.
Like he's here.
Yeah.
He's actually here, and he's walking it with you, and he walked it before, completely separated from his divinity, so that he could feel in his last moments what we feel.
Yeah.
So, yeah, God is good. People suck, and I get that. Though. People suck.
Yeah.
I mean, we spent the whole
Yes.
last episode talking about how people suck sometimes.
Yeah. That's what Jesus warns us about.
But I do.
False
I honestly,
prophets,
I like that song.
false teachers.
I do like that song. The Spanish one. I like Prayer too, Cling Let's Go. But
Yeah. I used to not like it until I listened to
Again,
it
it's
again
like-
with another perspective, and like,
it's not worship music.
No.
Like neither is this one.
no.
Like it's not worship music.
But
But
it
it's
kind of
like-
makes sense to see it as a
It's a song
cry
of
out.
lament.
Yeah.
It really is. Like it's a song of lament.
Yeah.
Just like this one. Like it's a cry out to God.
Yeah. I cry out.
And
to
sometimes we need to listen and hear other people's cry outs
God. Yeah.
like that to kind of get to our own.
yes.
And so, like, it's not like you're gonna see me out there worshiping and dancing to it like I would some Brandon Lake stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But it's like, I think that it's good music still.
Yeah.
I wouldn't discredit it as like, oh, don't listen to that.
Yeah.
Like people do with the King's Kaleidoscope because it says the F word. Oh, you can't listen to that. It got the F word in there. It's just like, no. Like yeah, I think that's good. I think it's okay to lament. Reach out to Jesus. Cry out to him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's multiple books in the Bible, multiple stories in the Bible of people doing it.
And the ultimate cry out to God book, Psalms.
Psalms,
Yeah.
Lamentations, Job, like all the Genesis has a bunch of stories with it. Like people have been crying out to God since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
Like he's there to process it with you.
Mike said something beautifully pointed. He said, if we weren't meant to call out God or rant against God, the book of Psalms wouldn't be a thing.
No.
Yeah.
God made that book the way he wanted it.
Yeah.
And if he didn't want you to tell him how it is, tell him how you're feeling,
Yeah.
he would have told you not to. And he
He'll
would have put it in
listen to
there.
you.
But
Listen to your cry outs.
sorry about the camera going out.
Yeah.
We're not professionals around here.
I don't have another.
Last one,
another
laggy.
pack.
There was some laggy
Yeah.
audio. This one, the
This
camera
one,
went
the
out.
Camera died.
Last time, the computer died.
Bro, what is going on with? Don't
We're just not
Forgot
professionals.
podcast?
We're just out here, people talking about Jesus, learning as we go. We
Yes.
appreciate you guys being patient, and we love y'all. We're praying for y'all. Any prayer requests you got, drop them in the comments. If you're on Spotify, you can't comment, but you can go on YouTube and drop a comment over there. We'll pray for you. Pray for us. Pray that we just keep pursuing Jesus. Pray that over all these struggles, all this being overwhelmed or being stressed, emotional turmoil, whatever it is, just if you have time, say a prayer for your Do It For God podcast hosts. Why not? Other than that, call out to God. He loves you, and he's walking with you, whether you see it or not, whether you believe it or not. He's walking with you. Lean on that.
Amen.
Want to close this out?
Yeah. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share so we reach more people and more people know about God and hear about the good news. We want that. We want to reach more people, more ears, and hopefully more disciples. So, yeah, please share. Follow us on Instagram. It's going to be down below in the description. And whatever you're doing, just keep doing it for God.
Do it for God. Amen.
See you guys in the next episode.
All right.